Welcome back to my channel. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but I have kind of a different setup. I'm home for Christmas break. So I'm not in my dorm room, so I kind of have a different, it took me forever to figure out how to do this, but I actually really like this. So if y'all see me looking at the camera checking myself out, it's because I look good. But anyways, today's video is gonna be on making it through my first semester of college. So this is gonna be on what it was like for me, little tips that I can give you, and really, yeah, that's kind of it. And I'm just gonna talk and get it all out as I go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I guess I'll just start out with move-in day. Move-in day for me, you know, it actually wasn't that bad. I feel like we moved in pretty quickly. It was just the little stuff that took like the longest, like the little minute details. That's the stuff that took the longest. I got there early. Funny story. I was supposed to wake up I was supposed to leave my house at 6 o'clock in the morning in order to go to get ready to leave. Not get ready, to leave. I was supposed to be leaving at 6 o'clock. And I didn't wake up till 5:45, so I had already started off on the wrong foot. I mean, not 5:45. I woke up at 5:55. 5 minutes before I was supposed to leave. That's when I woke up. And I was like, oh shoot, I gotta get ready. So I hurried up and brushed my teeth and threw my clothes on, and I got in the car. So I was actually already really sleepy. And my parents, I think all three of us drove different cars. So my mom drove her car. I had stuff in her car. My dad drove his car. Yeah. All three of us drove different cars. He was in his car, she was in her car, and I was in my car. I had all my stuff in my car. I had stuff in his car. I had stuff in her car. I brought a TV to college thinking that, you know, I was going to be able to watch TV and have cable and everything. And when I got there, she was like, nope, we don't have no cable car, no nothing. Oh yeah, and then I bought a microwave to school thinking that I could have it in my room and everything, you know, I could just heat up my food. She was like, no, you cannot have a microwave because of the certain amount of wattage. But I did have my little mini refrigerator. Sometimes I be thinking it's a little too small, but I don't need a whole bunch of food in there anyways. Sometimes I be feeling like it's too small, but then I don't need all that stuff. But back to move-in day. We started moving our stuff in. I had my bed. No, I didn't. I had my bed sheets, my pillows. I wanted a whole bunch of decorative pillows and all of that. And then when I got there, I ended up going to Walmart and buying a whole bunch of new stuff. I bought 2 rugs. What else did I buy? I bought a whole bunch of stuff when I went there. I would make another video about all the necessities and everything that you need for your college move-in day. But mine went pretty smoothly. It took maybe about 4 or 5 hours in order for me to move all my stuff in and, you know, say goodbye to my parents. Then they were gone, and then after that I was like totally on my own. Now, my college, they had a whole bunch of different little mixers for freshmen that you can do to get to know people. And on my first night there, I don't even talk to this girl no more, but I hopped in the car with somebody and we just went driving around everywhere, like just like that. So that's how I started making friends, and I started hanging out with them, and I was kind of trying to feel my people group. So, you know, I was trying to be myself, but then I didn't want to be too much of myself, but then I didn't want to try to be acting like anybody else. So it was kind of a little hard, you know, to kind of get into the swing, because I'm a very social person, and sometimes I be talking too much. Y'all could probably tell from my videos, but I talk a little too much. So it was kind of like that. And then the next day, I actually met the girl who I'm really closest with besides my roommate, and her name Taylor. That's my Tay. Anyways, he was watching, I don't remember how I met her, but we was watching Black Panther in the gym, and then it was bootleg. Like, it was not that great. So everybody started leaving, and then I was with her, and she was like, well, I rode with my roommates. So I hopped in the car with her roommates, and then I don't even remember where we went after that. I don't know where we went. I think we ended up going back to, we didn't go back to the dorm room. I don't know where we went. But then I started talking to her, and then me and her became really close, and then I kind of stopped messing with the girl that hopped in the car with the first time, and I was really with them, and I kind of became like they fifth roommate. So it was Taylor, Sarah, Brooke, Molly. Taylor, Sarah, Brooke, and Molly. Oh yeah, and that makes me number 5. Funny. So they kind of became my social group, and then my classes started, and for me, all of my classes were canceled on my first day. After the little fall commencement, they said that you don't have to go to class until after 12 o'clock. Well, I don't have any classes after 12 o'clock on Wednesday, so I was done for the day, and I kind of just chilled in my room. But the first thing that I would say that you would need is definitely like a journal or a diary or whatever to write down however you're feeling, or if you're just bored and you need something to do. This one is mine right here. It's a Juicy. It's cute, right? I really like this. I bought it at Macy's just in case y'all wanted to know. But yeah, so I kind of wrote in that hard and heavy like the first month I was there, and then it kind of started dying down in September, and I didn't really write in there. And then October, I think I missed almost the whole month of October writing in there, because, you know, I started hanging out with friends, and then by the time November came, I wrote in there maybe once or twice, and then December, I ain't wrote in there at all. Like, I haven't even touched that thing. But it was really kind of like my best friend when I didn't have a best friend. So the second thing I would say is to most definitely be yourself. It doesn't matter like how people take it, because at least they'll know like who you are. Be yourself. It's probably gonna take you a minute to kind of start being yourself, but that is like key. Third, I would say choose your friend group wisely, because my friends right now, you know, I had a little a little hiccup in the way getting there, but my friends, they're pretty cool people. Roommates, I'll start talking about roommates. My roommate, one of my roommates didn't show up. Like, she doesn't even go to the college. I don't even know who she is, what her name is, what she looked like. She just didn't show up. So it's just me and my one roommate, Trinity. She's actually pretty cool. She funny. I be making her laugh all the time. I be getting on her nerves. So I feel like if we wasn't roommates, we wouldn't be as close as we are. So my roommate is pretty awesome. Definitely set rules with your roommate though. Like, feel her out and, you know, kind of see who you're working with, because I know some people, they have like terrible roommates. They don't like their roommate. They roommate done moved out, or they done moved somewhere, or they done moved somewhere else. So I would definitely say I got pretty lucky to get her. If you're a clean person, let your roommate know that up front. Me and her, we're two clean people. If the room is looking like it is like a mess for so long, we kind of like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So her room doesn't ever really stay dirty. About the last 2-3 weeks of school, it did get kind of because basketball season had started up, and she's a cheerleader, and then I was the manager, so I had to like do stuff with the basketball girls. Like, yeah, so it kind of got a little hectic, but yeah, fill it out with your roommate. We were supposed to fill out a contract setting the rules and everything and sign the contract. We never signed the contract, and we never made a contract, and we never put any type of, we didn't do none of that, because we was like, that's too much work. But some colleges, they actually may require you to fill out that contract. Our RA, she's pretty cool. She know that we're really clean people and we get along and everything like that. I definitely would say your first semester of college is kind of learning and growing and everything like that, because I really it's some things that I've been working on, that I've been getting better on. My roommate even could see that I was getting better on it. Okay, yeah, that's really the only thing that I have to say about roommates. Just fill your roommate out. If you don't like your roommate, try to talk to your roommate and try to solve it. And if not, you know, move on to the next room or see if you can work something out. Now, almost the most important thing about college, your grades. In high school, your teachers, they will tell you that college is so hard. Your teachers don't care. You're gonna be writing so many papers. You're gonna have all of this stuff to do and da 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 da. I personally think that college is so much easier than high school, because you're on your own schedule. Time management is most definitely key. Like, you have to have time management and study skills. But basically, if you pay attention in class and you take notes and then you review over those notes, you will like be fine. You will be fine. You will find it is so much easier. You don't really have any homework unless it's like a math class, or I haven't had any science classes yet, but like a science class or something like that. But it's just so much easier. But you have to stay, like, if you want good grades, you have to stay on it. If there's a test, then you need to make sure that you study for it and that you're ready for it. What I did is I started doing note cards and everything like that. It made it so much easier. If you need help, go to your teacher's office hours. I went to my sociology teacher's office hours and I made 100 on every one of her tests, except for my last test. I got a 96 on that. I was so mad, but then I couldn't even be like, it was just, I really didn't try too hard for that test, so I missed one and got a 96. But yeah, go to your teacher's office hours. It is that, if your teacher like you because they know you, it just makes it so much easier. If you were to ever need help or extra credit, or you didn't understand them, you could email them up real quick and boom, like, establish a connection with your teacher. Because in high school, your teacher has to know you and your teacher has to learn your name and everything like that. My teachers this year, they actually did make an effort to learn everybody's name in the class, but that's because it was only maybe 65 of us, so it wasn't hard for them to learn the names of them, especially if you sitting in the same seat. And then, you know, you have your quiet ones, you have the ones that make good grades, you have the ones that be sitting in the back that be laughing and talking that be laughing and talking, that get on their nerves. But you got to establish a connection. And then another thing that I would say is check your email. It probably didn't matter in high school, or maybe you didn't even have an email in high school, but check your email, because my teachers, they email me and they're like, oh, hey, you have a test tomorrow, or hey, be ready, you're gonna have a quiz tomorrow, or hey, you have a quiz due tonight by 11:59, or you have a quiz due before class, or you need to do homework, or whatever. They communicate with you through email. Sometimes they'll say it in class, but then other times it's like yesterday was Christmas and my environmental science teacher is emailing me talking about registering for some books, saying that he didn't want us to buy it from the bookstore, and it's $85. I was like, whoa, like, that's a whole different story. But yes, your teachers definitely communicate with you through an email, and they don't care really what time it is. Or your teachers, if they decide to cancel class, they'll send out an email. Most of the times, my English teacher, she would send out an email at like 7 in the morning for our 9:30 class saying, hey, I'm sick, I'm not feeling well, you know, I'm a cancel class. So check your email. Let's see, what's the next thing I talk about? Food. Oh, the dining hall or the caf or whatever you want to call it. I don't really like our food at my school, but you know, sometimes you gotta eat it. Sometimes you don't. I be going broke because I do not like eating there. I'll eat there for... I don't wake up in time for breakfast. I'm not gonna lie. Our breakfast is actually okay. I like putting ice in my cereal, side note, because it get it real cold. Yeah, but the food kind of depends, but I would definitely say go to your dining hall or go to your caf or whatever. You don't even have to go there to eat. It's just like for the social aspect. Like the more and more you start filling it out, you'll see when certain people come in and certain people go out, because after so long everybody has a certain schedule, when they can eat, when they cannot eat, when your athletes are in practice, when they're not in practice, when band people are in practice, when they're not in practice, yada yada yada. So even if you don't want to eat, go in there. Sometimes I go in there just to talk, or my friends will be like, hey Diamond, come on down, like we gotta talk to you about something, or it's something that we gotta tell you, or have you eaten yet? Come on, let's eat together. Yeah, so check out your caf or your dining hall or whatever you want to call it. Parties. Let's see. It's not really too much I can say about parties besides the fact that they're basically all the same. No matter what happens, the same people do the same thing. It may just be a different location, or it may be, yeah, just a different location, but it's going to be the same thing. So I'd say if you have a test that you need to study for, or if you got something that you need to study for, it's not going to be the end of the world to miss the party, because they're probably not even going to talk about it the next day, or if they do, it's going to be maybe for about a week, and then nobody's going to think about the party anymore, because it's the same thing's going to happen the next Friday, Saturday. Nobody really does anything on Sundays. Sundays, I definitely would say, like, those are the days that you kind of recuperate. Like, if you get up and go to church or whatever you do on Sundays, you do that in the morning time, and then if you have any classes, that's kind of like the day that you be like, oh, okay, let me get ready for the rest of my week. What do I have to do? Like, do I have any tests? Do I have any quizzes? Do I have any homework due? Is there any papers that I have to write? Ooh, speaking of papers, papers are not as hard, and well, if you've written papers in high school. Now, I've met some people who they never had to write a paper in high school. I was like, what? You ain't never had to write no paper in high school? You was kind of lucky, but then not lucky at the same time. You have papers to write, but they're not as bad. Maybe you'll have to write a 3 to 5 page paper. If it's 3 to 5 pages, you can stop at like 4.5 if you want to be average, or you can do 5. Sometimes you'll have a 2-page paper to write. You don't really have 1-page papers to write. But yeah, my college, they do MLA, or they specifically ask for APA. But besides that, that's kind of all that it is to it. I personally don't think that papers are hard, but if you already know how to write, I'd say watch out, because English teachers, they don't really like having people in their class that already know how to write. So they're gonna like give you, maybe if you're used to making A's, they're gonna give you B's on your paper and then let you make it up for an A, and then at the end they give you an A to make it seem like you've improved, even though you already knew what you was doing the whole time. You just changed and tweaked and did a few different things, you know. So I definitely say if you're good at writing, watch out for English teachers, because they will have you feeling like, well, what is going on? Like, what is the difference? What happened during the summertime that I don't know how to write papers anymore? That's what happened to me, because I'm like, I know how to write a paper. I know what I need to do, but it all depends on your teacher's teaching style as well. I had a pretty good teacher. She was kind of chill and mellow, but still she would give me B's on my paper, and I'm like, why? A B? I know my paper worth an A. Then I go back and I change whatever she done put in the comments on my paper, and then I'll receive an A. So I definitely say watch out for them. Let's see, for math class, I didn't struggle for math because that math was easy for me. I was put in college mathematics, and that's just teaching you how to add and subtract and multiply and divide. Like, that is nothing to me. But if it's something that you struggle with, don't be playing and stuff, because your grades, they do add up. And if you have homework in math, that does add up. Like, make sure that you do it, and make sure that you pay attention to class and take notes. Because even though I knew how to add and subtract, I still took notes in class on 2 + 2 = 4. Even though I know that, I'm still going to write it down. If she wrote it down on the board, I would write it down. So definitely, if it was on the board, I wrote it. But look at your course sheet, whatever your course sheet is for your college, for your intended major, and then I'll do another video sometime later on how to pick your major. I'm a marketing major. I'm getting my bachelor's of business administration with the focus in marketing. Look at your course sheet, because that is so important, because majors, they change what classes are needed to graduate. Definitely keep up with that, because I've already written down what classes I take. I took 16 hours this semester, which wasn't bad for me. Like, it wasn't bad at all. So I wrote it down, and that's how I found out that I was actually put in a math class that I didn't need to be in. They put me in, like, that class is nowhere in my coursework at all. I was supposed to be taking the next level math. That might have been why it was so easy for me, but I was supposed to be in the next level math, and they put me in the math below that because I couldn't pick my classes. My college picked my classes for me. So keep up with your coursework, and by the time graduation comes, I've heard that, you know, they'll be like, oh, you can't graduate because you didn't take it, but you actually can, because the year that you enter, you took all the classes that you needed for that year. So definitely keep up with that. And I don't really want this video to be too long, so this is where I'm going to end it. If you guys like this video, make sure that you all like, comment, and subscribe. If there's anything else you all want me to elaborate on or make another video on, make sure that you leave it in the comments below. And dying. And I haven't done this in a long time. That's what I was going to say. I haven't done this in a long time, but it's your girl Diamond, and I stay sweet. Make sure that y'all stay cool. Peace.